Maido! Hi there, Japan fans. Today we're going to talk about high tech and presenting. Present or master shimasho. This is the 7th year of the Presentation Japan Series podcast, and we are beaming around the world to you from sunny Minato-ku in Tokyo. And I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, the president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, which is Zaegyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery, plus Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de okane o muda ni suru no wa yamimashou, and all are available on Amazon. Through this podcast, I want to help you to become a better speaker, to be 1. Clear, 2. Confident, 3. Persuasive, and 4. Highly influential with those around you. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcasts hosted by Libsyn. Unlike many other hosting organizations, Libsyn have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on Apple Podcasts. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show podcast. Tuesday, the Presentations Japan series. And every second Tuesday, the Business Touches in no Oshie show. Wednesday, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcasto show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery show. Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. This is episode number 320. And today we are talking about, should I go high-tech with my presentation? I attended an online presentation recently. The presenter was from one of the huge social media companies, and the presentation was very different from the norm. He was using his company's internal platform to deliver the presentation rather than using standard tools like PowerPoint or its equivalent. He could conduct comprehensive tests of his content using a sophisticated timing mechanism, which would rank people in terms of who were the fastest to complete the test and do it the most accurately. It was quite snazzy, and there were other little flourishes which were quite cool. It was all going pretty hummingly until he introduced his colleague, who was going to add to the conversation with her experiences and views. This is when things came crashing down. Her delivery was done in a monotone, which had the effect of making me suddenly feel drowsy during the session. Her lifeless presentation was in complete contrast with all the bells and whistles this company had been putting on display before she was introduced. This made me think about, was that high-tech presentation actually effective in terms of communicating the core messages? When I thought back to the guy's talk, I realized that I'd been distracted by the tech and hadn't fully absorbed the points he was making. This is a distinct danger when presenting using cool tools. I'm not a fan of anything distracting from the speaker. Online presentations in particular are the refuge of scoundrels. While we are talking, there are members of the audience who are completely distracted by doing their email or some other task and are not really taking in what we are saying. The first hint is when they won't turn on their camera. This is a sign they don't want to be involved fully in the meeting and are there, but not really. Usually online, there is a big screen real estate taken up mainly with the slides and a tiny little box with a postage stamp-sized image of the presenter. In this situation, it's super hard for the speaker to connect with their audience. If you decide to torture your audience by speaking in a monotone as well, then expect trouble. All we really have is our vocal modulation, because they usually cannot see our gestures or much body language, including our facial expressions. We have to be working hard to make that vocal range compensate for all the other parts of the presentation toolbox which are missing. If we are online, we should try to turn off the share screen function as much as possible. Yes, it is a bit of fiddling around to get the slide deck back up, but on balance, we are better to appear in a larger format on screen rather than being trapped in that little postage stamp. The same applies when we are presenting in person. Most people start with the slide deck and keep it up throughout the whole presentation. Yes, we can do that, but why not hit the B button on the keyboard sometimes and send the screen into blackness so that the only thing to focus on now is us. We just hit the space bar and the screen is back up again. And this is so much easier than trying to do the same thing when online, operating in Zoom or whatever. Find out more. We come back from the break. Today's show is brought to you by our public courses, but we also are doing custom in-house programs. We do them in both Japanese and English. We do them in our super safe classroom and live online. On the 16th of December, we'll be having our Successful Public Speaking one-day program. Very nice little one-day program for people who've had no exposure to any public speaking training. It's a good starting point. Gives you the basics, gives you tons of practice, gives you a chance to build up your confidence. On the 19th of December, we'll be doing time management, one-day program. We all need this one. You know it. I know it. Time is the most vital resource we have. And yet, are we really maximizing our access to that resource? No, we're not. This is why we need to attend the one-day program on time management. On the 20th of December, we will have the Step Up to Leadership program, another one-day program. What's the difference between being a leader and a manager? How should I be effective as a communicator with the team? How should I coach the team? How do I get performance through the team? That is what we cover in this one-day program. It's an excellent program for people who have never been given training but have been given the responsibility for others. Go to our website at www.dale-carnegie.co.jp. That's www.dale-carnegie.co.jp. Lots and lots of value there for you. To do better in Japan, email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning by watching video, then we have nearly 2,000 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. Welcome back. I am not a fan of using video in presentations. It is extremely rare that the video actually adds any value to the talk. It is often filler for speakers who don't like speaking and want to reduce their bit as much as possible. They think that a glossy PR department, high production values corporate video will make up for their lack of delivery ability. It won't. We, as presenters, have so much more high-octane potential than a corporate video. If the video is too slick, we come off as second best. and our messaging capacity is damaged. If the corporate video is rather ho-hum, and that is usually the case, we've lost the audience, and now we have to work so much harder to get them back with us. Simplicity, in terms of what we show on screen, is good for us as speakers because we are the star, not the slide deck, and we need to keep it that way. Too much information, too many fonts, too many colours, too much animation is a nightmare for us to break through with our message. Yet, we see presenters doing this to themselves, making their job as a communicator so much tougher than it already is. Go light on the bells and whistle gimmicks and be the bells and whistles yourself, would be my advice if you want to get your message through. If you want to project a high-tech image and don't care about getting your points registered with the audience, then knock yourself out and go for it. The only problem with this approach is it's so transitory and ephemeral, you have to wonder why you bothered in the first place. We go to all of this effort preparing our talks, so why not make sure our key messages are resonating with our audience, be that delivered online or in person? Did you get value from today's show? If you did, then share the love around with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Until the next episode, go out there and apply the learnings from today and become a presentations legend amongst your circle. Thank you for joining me, and please tune in next week. Remember, I'm in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.